So as you'll notice, I am not in my usual location and I have a guest. Hi, this is Letitia from Tisha the Brave.
Ooh, this is bad.
Sorry.
Right, let's go again.
And I am basically doing a little interview. She's very kindly agreed to do an interview with me. So, how did you start your YouTube channel, Tisha the Brave?
So basically how I started my channel was, right, so I've always wanted, it's so weird, I've always wanted to be a YouTuber for like a long time. I never had the guts to do it, and I was like, I had to give myself a lot of fake confidence. So I knew what kind of YouTuber I wanted to be too, because I knew I had this like really fun, weird, quirky side of me, but I was thinking it's time for me to emerge into this butterfly. No, honestly, I've been thinking about it for a long time, and then afterwards I was just like, all right, I need to do it. I want to do it. So I was saying to myself, I don't have enough confidence to do it, so I'm gonna fake it till I make it. And now I just feel like I'm okay with being who I am on camera. So I know it's a bit of a soft story, isn't it? But yeah, but then, and now that I'm on camera all the time, I'm a lot more comfortable with who I am, and the feedback that I get is really good. So that's literally how I started. It's because I've always wanted to, and so I just got the balls one day and just did, or rather not, because I don't have any balls, but you know, you know, feminism and all that. Yeah, cojones, I think those are the right words. Are these cojones? I don't know what they are. What are they? Is that what they call them?
I don't know.
The tartars. I got the tartars to do it, and that, okay, next. Because otherwise I'll just carry on.
That's so funny. So what would you say is like the aim of your channel? Because obviously there's like all different topics. What would you say is like the main? I forgot to mention she is fellow vegan. Like that's kind of why she's here. But anyway, carry on.
Okay, yeah, so the main point of my channel is I'm called Tisha the Brave, and at first when I called myself that, I was really thinking about my name. I was like, why am I calling myself Tisha the Brave? Because I want to be, I want to self-heal, so that means being brave and putting myself out there, and to constantly evolve into a braver person. So with everything that I talk about, whether it is something that is really sensitive or whatever, I will always try and voice my opinion on the matter, because I want to be okay with voicing my opinion, and if people have these opinions and they're too scared to voice them, I want to voice that opinion. So there are social experiments on my channel. There are you know, just opinionated pieces that I talk about, yeah, basically that's why I call myself Tisha the Brave, because my channel is all about me stepping out of my comfort zone.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Okay,
and by the way, I completely forgot to say this at the start, but I will put a link to her channel in the description below. So please go check it out and subscribe.
Subscribe to me! Oh my gosh! That's how I know you watch my channel. It's so sweet. Because she says subscribe. Okay, go on.
So obviously,
and that's my latest thing as well. I've only just started putting that in my
phone. That's so funny.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thanks.
So obviously you're also vegan. How did that happen? How did you...
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is a funny story, because I started at 13, which is really weird.
Wow.
Yeah, so like I was 13 years old and I watched a cooking show. I love watching cooking. Even till now I still watch cooking shows, because I'm always thinking about how can I make this vegan, how can I make this vegan, how can I make this vegan. We're the same. Yeah. Okay, so so basically I watched this cooking show, and I forgot what chef it was, but it was a famous chef, and they had an eel that was supposedly dead, and I know, it was sad. It was really sad. So they literally like cut through it and then tore out like basically the insides, the guts. But the thing that kind of resonated with me was that the fact that they took it out and the heart was beating, and because the heart was beating, I then put like 2 and 2 together and was like, I don't know why I never put that together, but I was like, this is a living thing. I'm eating a living thing. And so like even though I didn't really eat seafood like that, but you know, yeah, that's weird. But yeah, so yeah, took that, and then I was like, okay, I no longer want to eat, like immediately I was like, I don't want to eat animals. So like slowly, really slowly, I started, like when I say slowly, I mean like over 10 years. Like Like, I eliminated one thing at a time. So it started off with meat, and I eliminated like one, and when I say eliminated one thing at a time, I don't mean like meat altogether. I meant like I eliminated red meat, and like, or even lamb, specifically like lamb, and then goat, and then whatever, and then it was like one thing, literally one thing at a time. And then eventually it got to the stage where I was like just eating cheese, so I was eliminating everything. So it got to the stage where it was just cheese, so I was vegetarian, but it was just cheese. And that was the hardest thing for me to give up, which seems to be like everybody's thing.
It is.
I don't know why. It's like everybody's thing. And then on my 21st birthday, that's when I was like, okay, it's like a special birthday, the adult birthday. So that's when I decided, like, that is it. This is the time. And then yeah, basically.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Did you already know about like the dairy and egg industry?
What's really weird is like, okay, I didn't really. What's funny is like, once I made that decision, I didn't know about anything else. I just in my head it was like, I just want to do this because I feel bad. That was literally, I feel bad. And then later on, when veganism started to kind of like skyrocket throughout the years, that's when all the videos were like kind of like not shoved into my face, but it was on the internet. It was like they're everywhere. They were very accessible, and it became on people's social media. And that is when I saw some of them, I watched some of them, and then I was like, damn, wow. I did not know on that multitude, on that scale, like especially slaughterhouse. I had no idea about slaughterhouses. Had no idea that it was that what was happening. In my head, these cows were really old, and they were dying.
That was what I thought.
And then we got rid of them. Like and even thinking about that now, like that's still not a good thing to do. No, like, but that's literally what I was thinking the entire time. And then until I saw things, and then I was like, wow. So yeah. So that's basically how it all came about. That's how veganism came about for me.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, can I just say also, sorry.
Go.
Can I just also say as well, like, what the cool thing about me being vegetarian when I was in school, because I was a vegetarian in secondary school, was that I randomly converted 3 of my friends to go vegetarian, and eventually now, if it wasn't, Paris passed away, but he was vegetarian before he passed as well. But like, we all did that kind of together just because they saw what I was eating. I didn't say anything. They saw what I was eating, and then they all went vegetarian as well. Now my friends are now full vegans.
That's so cool.
And I'm so excited. I'm so happy about that. But go on.
Amazing. So this is kind of like moving on slightly, but how do you feel when, because this is something that really infuriates me, when people say, oh, veganism, it's a white privilege movement?
I feel like, if I'm being honest, if I'm just being 100% honest, I feel like the majority of vegans I know anyway are white. I don't see a privilege thing attached to that, to be fair. But I do know that there could be some uncomfortable situations when you're a vegan of color, if you know what I'm saying. So like, I was talking to Mary earlier about me going to the coffee shop with my friend. So and I interlinked that experience with what I'm talking about. So for example, okay, so let me just tell you the story. So basically, I go to this coffee shop and it's literally full of European people, predominantly like Eastern European people. I think that's just the culture. They love coffee and they love stuff like that. But it's in my hometown, and I go there all the time. And at first I felt mad uncomfortable. I was like, I know, this is just, at first I was mad uncomfortable. I was just like, there's a lot of white people in here. I don't know if they're gonna like me. so then yeah, but after a while I just got used to it. The people were very friendly, blah blah blah, we're good, you know, they give me stamps every time I go there. I'm gonna get my free coffee soon. No, and then you know, it's funny, I brought my Jamaican friend over there like years later. I bring my Jamaican friend over there, and the first thing she says to me, she grabs me, she goes, there's a lot of white people in here. And I'm just like, girl, I know what you mean, because the first time I was here I was so uncomfortable. This is what it feels like for a black vegan to be in an all-white vegan group. This is what people don't understand. Like, you can just feel out of place just because. I'm not trying to say that that is a great mindset to even have. It's not. Because if we think about race dividing us, then we're never going to move forward. But that's the honest truth. I'm just going to tell you from my truth, because like, I just feel like, so, yeah, because sometimes you do feel like that. Like I said to her earlier as well, it's like, you know, you could sometimes, as a black person, you could just go to another black person and instantly think, I could talk to you about the latest Kendrick Lamar album, I could talk to you about this, I could talk to you about Tupac, and then find out that they like classical music or Jimi Hendrix or something. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you just instantly instantly feel like you know that person, but you might not even know them, and that's a stupid mindset to even have. So yeah, the stereotypes that we even bring on each other is ridiculous. So I feel like we need to kind of break that boundary. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but we need to break that boundary, because it's weird, because it's like I said, like I instantly feel comfortable around people of color, because I feel like, oh, we have a struggle we can connect with. But that's stupid to think that, because I can have a lot of things in common with you and not much in common with that black person sitting over there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but we just assume that we have that connection. So when it comes to veganism and white privilege, I don't really see, I'm trying not to think of it in that way. I'm trying to think of it as, you know, we actually have similarities because we're vegan, and maybe that is the common denominator.
Yes.
But yeah, but I do have to say, you do feel more comfortable when you're in a group of colored, you know, like colored people. So it's just like, yeah, people of color. So yeah.
And what you said as well earlier was so interesting. She said something really interesting earlier about like when you're in like vegan groups and you're just like, where's all the black people at?
No, it's true, because I'm just like, bruv, I'll be honest, like, I'm seeing a lot of pasta dishes here. Man needs curry, do you get me? Plantain, the platanos, something, bro. Like, I need something. But like, no, but yeah, you can feel out of place. But I'm hoping that in the future we won't separate ourselves so much. You know.
That really tickled me. Just because pasta's my go-to.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so white.
You know what? She ate a curry today, so she's not that white. It's alright.
How do you feel about, like, I don't know, like, I guess it's along the same lines, but like sort of race and gender and everything being connected to veganism, like intersectional veganism. Okay. Like, do you think it's something that should be connected or less separate?
I can't lie to you, that is something that kind of annoys me.
Okay.
It annoys me, and I'll tell you why it annoys me. Because I feel like when issues are that big, right? Veganism, feminism, racism. When issues are that big, we shouldn't bundle them together. Okay. Because those are separate issues. Separate issues need separate things to be separate. I don't know. I don't know why I said this there, but you know what I mean. Like, it's, but like, I don't like it, because I honestly don't like it when somebody says to me, you know, like the animals, you know, when they compare
the slavery comparison.
Well, yeah, the slavery comparison. And I'm just like, let separate issues be separate issues. Yeah, there are reasons as to why everything has a subcategory of things, because everything has a struggle of its own. So whether that is so I think racism is a separate issue to veganism, and veganism is I mean, I don't know if veganism is not really an issue, but the other thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, reverse that.
Speciesism.
Speciesism, that's it. Speciesism is a different thing to racism and even sexism. Feminism and sexism and all those things. Because I feel like like I said, like, I feel like if you want to talk about feminism, talk about feminism. If you want to talk about speciesism, talk about speciesism. If you want to talk about racism, talk about racism. Don't bundle together, because I feel like that takes away from how big the problem really is. So I don't like it when it's bundled together.
See, it's really good getting your thoughts on that, just because so many, and it tends to be white vegans tend to be like intersectionalists. They tend to bundle
it all together. I swear, I've had a person compare that to slavery, and I'm just like, listen, bro. The effects of slavery are very, very real. So for you to bundle that together, and I know you're not trying to make, you know, I think you're doing that to show people how bad it is. Yeah. But the effects of slavery is very, very real, and the effects of speciesism is a totally different situation. So I just don't feel like you should bundle that together, because that takes away from our struggles, and speciesism is just as important. Feminism, racism, all of these things are just as important to talk about separately. Okay. So I don't, so that's really good. Thing.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad to get your take on that. Just because I think it's something that does need addressing, really.
It really does.
So again, we're sort of jumping on the topics here, but
that's fine.
So as someone, so you identify as like Christian, right? So as somebody who identifies as Christian, how do you feel when people start quoting Bible verses at you and saying, oh, God and Jesus put animals on the planet to be eaten? Like, how do you feel about that?
I think, okay, so this is okay, I'll be honest, this is very tricky for a lot of religious people, because because I growing up religious is mad. I'm still in my parents' house, you know what I mean? So like it's something that I get talked about from other Christians a lot.
I see.
So they always come to me and be like, okay, so but God said you can eat animals and da 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 da. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever, but like, is it the best thing for you? That's what I'm trying to say to you. So does it benefit you in any way? I don't see how it can benefit you, because the way that things are happening now, this is a magnitude of something that we can't really comprehend. Because back in the day, I would say in Bible times, they were not mass producing animals.
No,
they were not mass producing animals. They were eating, I would say, to survive, especially if we're looking at what the Bible says.
Yes.
And in those times, in like where it takes majority of the place in deserts and whatever and blah blah blah. So I would argue that, you know, this is a different time. We are very fortunate. We're not poor, majority of us anyway. We're not like we're not living in third world countries. We don't need to eat animals. That is the bottom line. We don't need to eat animals. And in fact, if you look at the original diet, God did not intend, I'm talking about biblically, I'm not talking about like, you know, like if you're not religious, whatever. I'm talking about like, I'm talking about like in the Bible. In the Bible, the original diet was fruits, nuts and seeds.
Oh, hey.
So, and then they say the vegetables were there for medicine and for healing and stuff like that. So that is the difference. I would say that I would argue and look at the difference between this time and now. Do we need to eat animals? No, we do not. The only way I could justify that is literally if you're in a third world country and there's literally no other option, and poverty is taking over and whatever. But yeah, that sounded so bad and mean. I didn't mean it for me to sound that way. But yeah, no, I don't see the necessity, and I don't see why God would want you to like, I don't see the justification for killing another animal. I don't think that God would want that in general for you to have. I would say that's a necessity, and not, because I feel like now it's just greed, isn't it? Yes, it's just greed. We don't need it.
It's really funny you say that. One of my favorite quotes is, animals kill for need, humans kill for greed.
That's so true.
And I love that.
You know, we never think of that. We never think of that, because like the only time predators hunt is for because they're just hungry for need. Oh my God.
I know, it's a good quote, isn't it? All right. I love that. So on the same sort of topic, like there's sorry. No, go for it. I think that you're the only Christian vegan I know. How do you feel about like this sudden like wave of atheism within the vegan movement?
I don't. Do you know what? It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. And I in fact, I think it's a very nice thing. So it's like not a nice thing, not in a nice thing like they're atheists or anything. No, but I feel like they're doing something kind and nice, and I'm not to say that atheists are bad people. That sounds really bad, doesn't it? No, but like, but you know, like, I don't have a problem with atheism. You believe what you believe. My best friend is an atheist. It doesn't bother me. I just feel it's I feel anybody who is religious, atheist, what's the other one? Agnostic, anything, whatever you are, spiritualist, whatever. If you're going vegan, that's a positive thing. Doesn't bother me if you're an atheist, if you're not. The one thing I don't like is when atheists bash Christian, or even vice versa. When anybody bashes each other about their religion and the politics of eating, just stop. Because like, just stop. And like, honestly, I feel like the best way, and I'm not being like, I'm trying not to have, like, I don't have an ego when I say this, but I've literally converted people to veganism, but not because I've had conversations with them. Literally because I've eaten food in front of them, and they're just like, what is that? Why are you eating this? Why are you not ordering the fish or the chicken or the whatever, and I'm just like, okay, yeah. I tell them I'm vegan last minute, because I really do not want them to hound me with questions and arguments and debates. And you know what? It works. It works. Yeah, it works.
So do you have any future plans for some more like vegan videos on your channel?
So I have been making Instagram polls on my Instagram, asking what would people like to see more vegan cooking and blah blah blah. And so a lot of people have said, yeah, we need more vegan food videos, because I feel like there's a big interest now of a lot of people literally, like, you know, they're cutting out a lot of meat and fish, and even fish, because there was a point where everybody was like pescatarian, and now everybody's like, I need to go vegetarian or vegan now, because it's getting, like, you know, everything's getting polluted and which I don't mind. When people go plant-based for health, I'm not opposed to that either. I would prefer that they would go in with the whole lifestyle, but you know, one step at a time. And you know what I find, when people go plant-based, that's when they start the wheels start turning.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my gosh, leather, oh my gosh,
everything.
I don't know what
makeup.
else. Yeah,
Cosmetics.
like things like that. So they just eventually they just like they start getting wheels start turning. So I don't mind how slow they go, but like, you know, as long as they get there and stuff like that.
Exactly, as long as they're on that path.
So yeah, I forgot the initial question.
Oh, do you have any?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So taking Instagram polls, people seem for me to want to do cooking videos, and I'm literally gonna start incorporating that more into my channel. So watch out for that soonish. And
how exciting.
Yeah, and I'm hoping to have like more. I was hoping to do like this thing where I get meat eaters to taste like some of my food and say like, could you eat this? Would this be a meal for you? Is this satisfying? Yeah. So I was hoping on doing more of that.
I want that.
So that would be good.
So much.
Yeah.
All right, my love. And then lastly, what are the future plans for your channel apart from you've just said
this is interesting because I don't actually know. I think I'm constantly evolving. Every time I have an idea, I'm like, I'm going for it. Before it used to be like, should I do this, should I not do this? But now when an idea comes to me, I'm just like, I'm gonna do it. I don't care, like this is what my mind is telling me, I'm doing it. And I find when I do those videos that they get, I don't know why, but they get the most views and the most, and I think and that just reassures me that like I am, I'm not crap, like I could actually do something that people would want to watch. So yeah, so I'm happy like I can have those thoughts and just like project it and do it and speak it into existence and have it done.
That's exciting.
So I don't know,
maybe that's why your channel's so good. It's fun.
I am humbled. That is so sweet. That is so sweet. But yeah, that is literally, I can't tell you what's going to be next because my mind is like,
that's exciting though. Yeah. Okay, so that leaves us with a bit of mystery. Ooh. Right, so I shall wrap this up, but I will put a link to the YouTube channel, Letitia's YouTube channel in the description below, and her Instagram as well.
Yeah. Oh.
So,
oh my gosh,
like, subscribe. Yeah, like, subscribe.
Yeah.
Do all that.
All that jazz.
Alright.
Alright, guys.